What I want to do is talk about Serena Jameka Williams. I always used to call her Meek. She told me I'm the only one allowed to call her that except for King Richard. But at the end of the day, I want to talk about her retirement and just kind of go through a medley of her career and how I see this through my eyes. Obviously, in my opinion, she's going down as the greatest female tennis player ever to hold a racket. In my opinion, she's the greatest female athlete of all time. And I say that coming from a different vantage point. I saw this little kid, with speed and quickness and agility, flexibility. She could do the splits, she had muscles on muscles, okay? And that was kind of on the outside. Richard and Orsine hit the genetic jackpot with Serena. I've never seen an athlete check all the boxes and actually create a few more. It was amazing. And you could see this at a young age. But on the outside, like I always tell everybody, there was arms and legs and hair and beads flying off their head everywhere. So, and she wasn't as mature. So you couldn't see that this kid was going to become iconic or, become the GOAT or whatever. But I knew, early on, just because I evaluate talent and I could see these attributes. She just needed to mature. And at the end of the day, when I went out there to Compton in 1991, I met with Richard and Orsine and Venus and Serena just like yesterday. We went to that park. And by the way, the best vacation I ever had was going to Compton, California. Not a lot of people can say that. But obviously we changed history. We got out of that bus that you saw in the movie. All these guys shooting baskets, smoking, drinking like 7:30 in the morning. The basketball court just parted like the Red Sea. They knew who they were because the New York Times was there earlier. Venus was undefeated in the 10 and under, whatever that means, okay? We got on that tennis court, and for the first hour, and this is a great lesson for any coach, parent, or obviously even Rick Macy. You don't judge a book by the cover. The cover could be amazing, the book bad. The cover amazing, the book bad. So you can't look at it like that. Because I had Jennifer Capriati prior to this, and she was the best junior player of all time. At 12 years old, she won the 18 national clay court and hard court. That's crazy. A record that still stands from 1988. And then Jennifer was top 10 in the world at 14. So my blueprint, for greatness was really like no other. So I see these two little girls and arms and legs and hair flying everywhere. Just needed a lot of technical help, maybe 70, 80, 100 in a nation, whatever that means. So an hour into training, we played competitive points, and it was going to be me and Serena against Venus, because Venus was more mature and taller, and Serena, she was like a little prankster, but you could see great athleticism and a lot of good qualities. And when we started keeping score, it blew me away. The feet got better. They were popping the popcorn with extra double butter. The preparation got better. But what freaked me out, the burning desire to get to the ball. The burning desire. Obviously, Venus had these long strides, but Serena, the desire to get to the ball, there was a rage. There was a rage inside this little girl that I never saw. She would run so hard to get to it, her nose would be that far off the ground. Now, you can try hard. that doesn't mean you're going to be a great tennis player. But that blew me away. And what also I saw at a young age, Serena had all the time in the world. And a lot of people, even in the interviews I did back in 1991, 92, they didn't understand that comment. She just had time. And I think a lot of great quarterbacks have that. I think great athletes have that, or special generational athletes. That's a unique quality. And if you have that in your pocket, okay, you're going to feel calmer, because you're definitely going to have the firepower and the intensity. But she had all the time in the world. Venus, I didn't really see that quality. But so I saw that in Serena. But she wasn't as mature. She wasn't, that big yet. So, technically she was all over the place. So at the end of the day, when this journey started, okay, I tell everybody, no one hit more serves after practice than Serena Williams. She would drain, half of the public shopping cart with VW, and she had the best natural throwing motion of any female athlete I ever coached. It was natural, the throwing motion. She just had to synchronize it from the ground up. No one hit more slice serves than Serena Williams. So people have to understand, you just don't wake up and become great. You don't wake up and win 23 Grand Slams, or 7 Wimbledons, or 6 US Open, okay, or 6 Australian Open, okay, or 3 French Opens, or 16 Grand Slam doubles. Her and Venus probably could have had 50 if they'd have played doubles together, and she got 4 gold. She could have won 50 mixed doubles. A lot of times she didn't even play. And then when she had her pregnancy and there's injuries, she could have had records that would just go up the chart. And we all get blown away by these numbers, okay? But when we take a step back, it's amazing. Forget the number of times, the number of weeks she's been number one, or the number of tournaments that she won, or singles matches she won, the longevity. She turned pro 15, 16 years old, still going strong. But Serena's impact on people, not just the African American community she brought in and inspired other people. Her impact, I can do it, you can do it. Serena wasn't even she wasn't in the front row, she wasn't in the back row, she wasn't even in the building, and if she can do it, anybody can do it. But what I like is, as a female athlete, to show her competitiveness and that just intense, burning desire that she had on display. Some people might not like it. That's okay. You can't please everybody. But she showed that, okay, that emotion. And she would go deep. Everybody's competitive. This was another level. She checked every box and created a few more. And that's why I tell everybody, okay, this young lady, and another thing, let me go back in time a second. Every lesson, good, bad, happy, sad, okay? And believe me, it wasn't every day rainbow, lollipop, and sunshine, especially with Richard there, okay? But that's why I love the guy, because he was all about life lessons and the way he treated those girls. But every night after practice, she would say, "Thank you, Rick, very much," and give a hug. And she brought her books to the tennis court every day. And if it rained, went up my office and studied. These are the things that people didn't know. And Serena was always smiling, except when you kept score and it became competitive. But those are the most scary type, those ones that smile, then they flip the switch. But as a kid, she was just so happy-go-lucky, just a great, great kid. And when we talked about this stuff at the red carpet, at the after party, I went back down memory lane. The stories, because she looked through the game of life from age 9 to 15 or whatever, as, from Richard's point of view or seen. And now she's a mother, and now she's retiring, and this thing's come full circle. The stories were beyond epic. But what this young lady has done, forget tennis, because we all get caught up in that. The facts speak for themselves, okay? Not only the greatest female tennis player, in my opinion, of all time, to hold a racket. I think the greatest female athlete of all time. And she's on Mount Rushmore, okay, because the speed, the quickness, the strength, just the intensity level, the best serve ever, where she could just play through you. she could just dominate, okay? Especially in her prime, even though her prime was a long time, she could dominate. But I think she's on Mount Rushmore for another reason, because when you played Serena Williams, she made you rush more than anybody. So just that alone, we've kind of redefined Mount Rushmore. But no, all kidding aside, a role model. She's inspired so many people, okay? They don't have to play sports, okay? And it's a game changer, because what the game of life's all about, it's not just what you can do for yourself, but how that impacts others. And because of the platform that Serena has now, okay, and the brand, I feel her greatest gift, her greatest act is yet to come. So to put a bow around this, okay, the retirement, it did not surprise me, because she's so competitive, but you got to be all in. And at the end of the day, everybody retires, but everything should be celebrated, simply because we've had this look at this amazing little athlete from Compton, California for so long. The longevity of her career has been amazing. But as I said before, I think the best is yet to become. And Serena, okay, will go down as one of the most unique athletes of our generation.